We're going from the Biden pardonapalooza, pardon bonanza, what the hell that is, to Trump's, what they're going to call a pardonapalooza. And my revelation, like I had this nice thought that Biden is literally pardoning the criminals of his organization on the way out. Forget his family, the making money, that's one thing. He pardoned the January 6th committee, everyone involved in the committee. Police officers who testified in front of the
Michael
committee.
Bird, who shot.
I checked that up. He didn't. As far as I know, he did not pardon Bird for that. And Bird is facing a wrongful death suit right now. He's been cleared of criminal charges because they're not investigating him.
Okay, so it's back and forth, just so you know, because online it says both no evidence found, but then also Biden pardons Capitol officer who killed unarmed January 6th. So it's conflicting reports.
It's conflicting because I think what the issue is the pardoned police officers who testified before the committee. And I think there was some confusion as to whether or not Bird testified. But I don't think it pardons even the officers who testified for other acts carried out beyond the scope of that committee. Either way, we'll find out. But I just want to make a mistake on it. Okay. So set aside Bird. Biden on his way out pardons that committee. And by their own logic, it is an indication of criminal wrongdoing or criminality. You pardon the committee that spent 3 years persecuting peace-loving, patriotic Americans. And I now include in that even the ones who I thought might have committed acts of violence in the beginning, once you understand that the video that they withheld showed outright, unequivocal provocation by the police. Shooting in tear gas, shooting rubber bullets, trying to get a rise out of that crowd so that crowd would get violent. They beat Roseanne Boyland. And then she gets trampled as she's being struck by police officers. They beat to death a woman, and then you get the likes of Jake Lang, who's sitting in that D.C. gulag for 4 years in pretrial detention because he hasn't gone to trial yet. They shoot Ashley Babbitt point blank, Michael Bird, and then he gets hailed as a hero.
Yeah, hero.
A black man executing a white unarmed woman point blank.
Veteran Air Force woman.
Imagine what that would have been had it been a white man
and a black,
executing summarily a black young woman at a BLM protest.
World War V Civil War.
Imagine that, and having it on video like that. So Biden on his way out, pardonapalooza, the most ever pardons commutation. Some of them are fine and others are not. He pardons that criminal enterprise that was that January 6th committee. Trump comes in, he campaigned off promising to pardon some of the Jan 6ers, and then it became a concern, is he only going to pardon the nonviolent and then leave a fair number in there to rot? Because even the ones that were violent, they got constitutionally shafted. Withheld evidence, the Brady violations, a jury in D.C. with judges who wanted to see them hanged, with a jury of their peers who wanted to see them hanged. So even the violent ones, and I'll put violence in quotes, they got railroaded, they got screwed, they did not get a constitutionally fair trial, let alone sentences.
Yep.
Enrique Tarrio, Proud Boys, I forget what his position was, board member, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
22 years for seditious conspiracy.
It's insane.
Biggs, I think he got 16 years. So my revelation is, as Biden's leaving, he's pardoning the perpetrators of the criminality. Trump comes in and makes good on one of his biggest promises.
I love it.
All of them.
I love it. I love
1,500 and change. And he went in, when J.D. Vance came out and during an interview said, we're going to have a slate of pardons. We're going to start with, alluding to that, we're going to start with the nonviolent ones. And he faced backlash. And then he sort of walked it back. And they walked it back to the right decision. All of them. Different tiers of pardons. Pardons for the misdemeanor convictions, commutations for those who committed violence, and those who are still awaiting trial, dropping the charges and letting them go.
I absolutely love it. And people are going to be like, yeah, but they attacked. Let me explain something to you. Even if you've never had a police record and you were there and you got hit in the face with a rubber bullet, and I mean, put yourself there, Robbie, and you get hit and they're coming after you and they want it because they're getting orders to, and you fight back and you hit them, okay, and you get arrested. You've been in jail for how long?
4 years.
Almost a little bit over 4 years,
over
right?
4 years.
I think it's time. You assaulted a cop, but I would say, let's look at the evidence, but they destroyed all the evidence. Where are all the FBI informants? Who was dressed up as Antifa? I've seen videos with these things, guys. I don't need to hear it on CNN or MSNBC. With these weird things that God put, I saw a video of Antifa scumbags and some guys recording and they're trying to tell them to go away, changing their clothes, wearing Trump stuff. Okay, and Christopher Wray never answered. Were there FBI agents inside the Capitol? Were there, by the way, confidential human sources are people that they catch. People need to understand this. There's a difference between an undercover agent and somebody that's a confidential human source, because that's somebody like Brandon. If you get caught for drugs or you did something illegal. and we say-
Steroids, I bet. Look at his arms.
steroids, and we say, hey, listen, you're effed unless you come work for us. And you go, oh my God, no jail. You get to have an apartment, do whatever the hell you want. On January 6th, we want you to go in there. We're gonna hold the National Guard. We're not gonna let them, even though he's asking for it.
Yep.
You guys get your ass over there, put on a mask. If you get arrested, we'll take your ass out. Do whatever the you want. Raise holy hell, break glass, punch people in the face.
Instigate.
And like let's say I'm just throwing one out there. Let's say your name is Ray Epps. All right? Let's say your name is Ray Epps. I'm just coming up, and we'll call it Ray, R-E-Y-X. E-P-S-S-S. That's his name. Go
Epps
there.
with a Z.
Yeah,
E-P-Z.
Epps. Yeah. Provoke people, get in there. We're only going to give you a misdemeanor. Sign me up.
They only gave him a misdemeanor after 2 years when it was disclosed who he was and he was facing backlash as to how they didn't act. People sort of accuse Enrique Tarrio of being a Fed.
He wasn't even there.
He
that
wasn't even
day,
there,
right?
and they're referring to whether or not he assisted the FBI like a decade ago in another incident. Irrelevant. People are accusing Jake Lang, who did carry out violence because he sat there and watched them beat to death Roseanne Boyland. They call him a Fed. The Feds don't spend 4 years in pretrial detention. Enrique Tarrio has been in jail since he was arrested in 2021. He was only convicted after this bogus trial in 2023. Feds don't spend 4 years in jail. And whether or not you call them a CHS, a confidential human resource, whatever. But the bottom line is they were all pardoned by way of this massive proclamation Monday.
Good.
They started trickling out Monday. It's Wednesday. And they're not all yet out by the latest information. If we could play this video, this was... so I actually had Mick on the channel. She was running a live stream with Jake Lang, or on behalf of Jake Lang. And they were there sitting there. You had a man named Mr. Pollock. 2 of his kids have been in jail for 11 months, maybe a little more. A daughter and a son. And he's sitting there waiting for his kids to get released after Trump issues the pardon. It's a proclamation pardoning them, get them out. And they're dragging their feet. Muriel Bauer, the mayor of D.C., dragging her feet, thumbing her nose at Trump's orders to piss off Trump, to piss off the people waiting there, to carry out one last act of aggression before they finally have to submit to Mr. President
How many
Donald
have been
Trump.
released? I heard Glenn Beck said only 2 had been released. Is
No,
that
I
true?
think almost all of them have been released, except for maybe a less than a dozen now in
Okay.
D.C.
Okay, let's see it.
So play this. This is what the cops were saying.
I'm giving you literally all I got. But no more are going to be released tonight, okay? And
no more.
tomorrow is a brand new day. We'll see what tomorrow brings, okay? I'll probably be here with you. Okay?
Okay.
It's a violation. You don't release them on your leave. Permit?
No, I was told no more tonight.
No more tonight.
No more tonight, okay?
We trust you.
And tomorrow, I don't know.
Okay.
What
Okay.
a douchebag.
I mean, he's
Well, I don't blame him.
Oh, we can stop it. That's the gist of it.
I mean, he even said, "I was told no more tonight." So there's a part where, like, yeah, I get it. I would be like, "Hey, this sucks. I'm sorry. This is messed up." But the guy's listening to orders from somebody that's coming above
But he got
him. So-
rank on his arm. I don't think he's not a
he's a
nobody.
sergeant.
He's a sarge.
Yeah,
That
but
guy-
he's not. Again, who's releasing them from the jails? Are there sergeants of the,
warden.
jail?
Well,
warden-
once,
Okay.
yeah,
I
but once,
don't know.
but once the president gives you a freaking full
Yeah.
pardon and it's live, there's no disputing. Everything's lifted. Get the hell out. Out process. Bye. Done deal. There should have been a pause.
I don't disagree with you, but I don't think that guy's in charge of opening the cell doors and then letting people
He's
out.
being a little casual about it.
But
like,
he
as
should have
a-
been a prick.
What do you want him to do? Listen, we were
No,
down.
bottom line.
Go ahead.
I agree, you're right. There's nothing he can do. He's but a cog in this machine of tyranny. They did bring.
Doesn't make it right, but
No,
he is just a cop.
But you, and also you appreciate this is an act of provocation. It was to show Trump, you're president, and I'm the D.C. mayor, and I'll give you the middle finger if I want to. It was the insult to the family members who are sitting out there waiting in the blistering cold in D.C.
It
to
was
get them.
freaking cold, Rob.
They were taking some of them out.
God.
Apparently, they brought one person out and then brought him back in, like to tease a dog, like you're going to take him for a walk. Every day that they spend in that D.C. gulag, and it is a gulag, and they will look back on this the way they look back on interning the Japanese Americans during World War II. Every day in there is a risk to their life. Of course. And to keep them in there 1 hour longer is 1 hour longer that something can happen. I'm waiting for the updated list to see who's still in there in the D.C. gulag. There's an interesting catch to all of this, is that I thought there was only one person who suffered from this consequence, a guy named Chance Upmore. I had him on the channel. He was a January 6er. He faced the same bogus misdemeanor charge. They raided his place the way they abusively raided everybody else, and then they decided to charge him with other incidental crimes that they discovered marijuana possession. And firearm possession, where you can't have them in the same. I don't know whether you can't have them in the same drawer. I don't know how that works. There were actually about 3 other people who were still being detained because they were facing other charges. When they got arrested for Jan 6, some of them were parole violations. Others got found out. They brought other charges not related to Jan 6, so that their detainment is being justified now on the basis. Sure, you're pardoned on the Jan 6 stuff,
But we got you with weed.
but we got you on other incidental stuff.
Yeah.
And their names, as far as I can. I'm not going to have the names here, darn it. So there's something to follow here, but the bottom line, what's amazing is that in one day, Trump can erase 4 years of manufactured, fabricated history. January 6th was an insurrection, just in the exact opposite way that everyone thinks it was. It was a deep state trying to frame Trump to impeach him, trying to frame Trump in advance to keep him off the ballot the next time around, trying to create a pretext through which they surveilled half of America, demonized half of America, made people afraid to exercise their God-given right to protest, to go down to D.C. this time around, because Lord knows what they're going to do to any Trump supporter. And in one day, I think Trump successfully rewrote the history to say, these people who you thought were the victimizers are in fact the victims, and Biden crime family pardoned the actual criminals and the actual victimizers on his way out. And now I got it right. It's beautiful.
I love that you put it like that. Rob, I'm going to go to you before we go to Humberto, which I have to look at his card, which makes me laugh.
That's
and
dirty.
I want you to think I was laughing at you. They're going to see it here shortly. But you nailed it. That was and again, hats off to them, because they're like, okay, we're gonna cheat. Okay, he's gonna be pissed. Something's gonna happen. He's already calling for the Capitol. Let's make sure it turns into a complete shit show. And what's the word we're gonna use?
Insurrection. The day of.
But one person went like this. Nobody has guns, and shut the hell up. Just go with it. That was so freaking well put. I was going to say eloquent, but I don't want you to think that I'm trying to use big words.
Kevin Coleman wrote in the chat, and it's a good point. They need to arrest her. This is in response to the mayor of D.C. They should make an example to every blue mayor or governor to get out of the way. So I went and I Googled, are pardons executive orders? And they are. And executive orders are instant laws declared by the president. So if you disobey an instant law created by the president, are there legal repercussions that she could face?
They're just saying, oh, it's paperwork. It takes a lot of time per person. We got a lot of them, so 3 hours a person. That's 33 hours if we've got 11. First of all, if that would be the steelman excuse. The fact that they have so many that based on their paperwork procedure, it takes that long to get them out, that's the problem. That's not the excuse. They should have been let out immediately. They should be compensated for the torture that they went through. Jake Lang, and I'm not citing him in particular, has been in there for 4 years. A number of other ones. The Lectern guy pleaded to a misdemeanor, spent 75 days in detention. I don't know if it was prison or whatever. 2 weeks or plus in solitary confinement. What they went through was torture. It's against the Geneva Convention of Human Rights. They should be compensated. Not that any amount of money on earth can undo the trauma and abuse that they've endured, but history is being rewritten as of now. Everybody who thought that these people were insurrectionist terrorists, you have to get deprogrammed and understand exactly what happened. And for the people on the internet who are still defaming my boy Lectern guy, we'll put it on blast, and you might face some defamation legal consequences for perpetuating the lie.
Good. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.